Hi, I am Prashant Kumar, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, MS Engineering College, Bangalore. So in this video, I am going to discuss the fourth machine independent feature of the assembler, programming block. This is actually a segment of code that are rearranged within a single object program unit. That is what a program block. Previously, what we have did in the case of assembly language program is we have considered the entire program as a single block, even though that consists of instruction related to code, instruction related to data, and instruction related to what growing data, etc. We have considered the entire set of instruction as a single block. Then we have converted that entire program into a single object code. But doing that, what is the problem in such situation is it is difficult to identify and understand which code is related to data, which code is related to program, etc. So for that, here in this program block, the concept of program block, we are rearranging the set of code in such a way that whose codes are related to some deals with a special type of things. For example, you see the instruction which is related to the code and instruction which is related to the data. So that is what the basis of program block. It is a logical grouping of a set of instructions and that are rearranged within a single object program unit. And along this program block, one more feature is we have to study, that is called the control sections. But control section is also a set of instructions, but here this set of instructions are translated, loaded and manipulated independent of the other unit. So what is a control section? One control section is totally independent from other control section. There are references, but that we will deals with standardly. So a logical group that is independently we can treat, and conversion also and loading also we can treat independently. Such blocks are called the control section. But program blocks are not like that, which are not independent, and we can't translate the program block independently. So we can't manipulate program block independently. To define a program block, there are one simple directives we can use, that is use. So the syntax is use followed by block name. So at the beginning, the statements are assumed to be part of the unnamed default block. So even though we are not using use statement, but at the beginning we will treat the instruction till the first use statement. We will treat it as a part of default block. If no use statements are included, the entire program belongs to this single block. Suppose there is no use statement throughout the program, then the entire program belongs to one block. Each program blocks may actually contain several separate segments of the source program. So if you analyze one program block, you can see different segments of code from different section of the source program. Assembler rearrange those segments together, the piece of each block, and assign addresses. Separate this program into blocks in a particular order. A large buffer area is moved to the end of the object program, and that will create the program readability will improve if data are placed in the source program close to the statement that are referencing them. So an instruction which is referring a data and which is very near to the instruction, then the readability and the action will improve. So in our program, there are three control blocks we have. The first one is called default control block, then that is related to executable instruction, and next one is a C data. So under C data, we will categorize all segment of code which are dealing with the data area that are less in length. And third one is C blocks. Here all data area that consists of larger block of memory will group together to form a C blocks. Let us see the example. This is our same program that we have discussed previously. So this is the line number, this is the memory location, this is the block number, the new things. Then this is our label section, this is the opcode, this is what our operand, and this is the machine instruction corresponding to the assembly instruction. So the first default block will start from the beginning to till this point, because here you can see that one use assembly directives followed by C data. So we are defining a new block with the name C data beginning with the 000. Then one more use statement, you can see that. So from this use to this use, what are the instructions that will form a program block C data. So block number is changed to 2, here it is 1, the previous one is 0. This is what our first section of the program. And second section, subroutine, read record, you can see it will start with the use. So there is no name mentioned, but so that's why it is a default group. So it's a continuation of the default group. So from here to here, default block will come, our C data will come. Again use only, so there is no name mentioned, so it's a part of default group. So it is also a continuation of the default block. Then use appeared here, so this is the part of C data. So these instructions are the part of C data segment, C data program block. Then how the assembler will deals with the program block. So we know that there are two algorithms that we have used to assemble program. First one is pass one, and during the pass one, what assembler will do? Assembler will create a separate location counter for each program block and save and restore the location counter when switches between blocks. So block to another block switching, then we need to save and restore the location counter value for switching. Then at the beginning of the block, the location counter is set to 0. So when we starting a programming block in the very first instruction, then the location counter value is equal to 0. And how we deals the label within a location counter. So labels, so what we'll do is corresponding to the label, the relative address is calculated with respect to the programming block where the labels belongs. The relative address is nothing but the distance from the starting of that block to the point where the label appears. That is what relative address. Then since it is a label, so we need to store those information into the symbol table. So symbol table contain additional information related to the block. So like look at block name or block number, we will add into the symbol table along with the relative address. Then how we can calculate the length of the block? By taking the latest value of the location counter, because location counter is initialized to 0 when we start a block. Then when we reach the end of the block, then what is the current value of location counter? That would be the length of that block. Then here you can see that a snapshot of our program and how we have defined what program blocks. First one, default 0 block number, address starting with 000 and length is 0066. Then C data is the next programming block, number 1. So 0060 is the starting address and its size is, that means length is 000B. Last one is the biggest programming block with a size of 1000 byte. Starting address is 007 byte. Then block number is 2. And during the pass 2, what the assembler will do is assembler will calculate the address of the label with respect to the programming block and relative address. Calculate the address for each symbols related to the start of the object program by adding two things. One is for each programming block when we start, so definitely there is a starting address. So starting address is the first address. So here you can see 000 is the default, 0060 is the starting address of C data, 0071 is the starting address of C block. So if it is a C data, so this is 0066, correct? Yeah, 0066. Then the relative address of the label is, for example, this label, one label is appeared in this location. Then relative address is the distance from the beginning to this point. So this is the relative address. How many byte distance is there from here to here? That is the relative address. By using these two information, that is the starting of the block number, programming block, and the distance from the beginning to the label where it actually appears. So that two information help to calculate the actual address of the label. During the pass 2, the algorithm will help to calculate the symbol's address. For example, here you can see that the instruction is at line number 20, starting address is 0006 and 0 is, sorry, this instruction belongs to this address 0006 and it belongs to the block 0. the meaning of the instruction is load accumulator, the value of length, and its machine instruction is this one. And we can check it how we have calculated the displacement 0060, because 032 is the machine instruction corresponding to load accumulator and flags. So the relative address of the length, label length is 0003, and it belongs to block 1. So what is the block 1 starting address? 0066. So the actual address is 003, relative address plus starting address of the block. So you will get the actual address of the label length is 0069. Then how to calculate displacement? Because displacement we can calculate by using the equation displacement is equal to target address minus program counter value. Yeah, then what is the program counter value when we fetch this instruction? When we fetch this instruction, program counter value is 0006. After fetching, program counter is incremented to for the next memory location. So this is a 3-byte instruction. So the next memory location where we store the next instruction is 0009. So the target address is 0069 we have calculated. Then program counter value, current program counter value after fetching this instruction is 0009. Then if you subtract these two, you will get 0660. So that is the displacement. The actual machine instruction is this one. So opcode is this one and displacement is this one. So you will get this address. This is the way to calculate the actual address of the label. Even though the object program, if you are analyzing the object program, even though we are defining program block in the assembly program, but the object program may not be appear physically separate. That means physical rearrangement may not be happening in the object code, but the assembler just simply insert the proper load address in the each tester code. The loader will load those codes into correct place. So this is the corresponding object code of above program. So a snapshot of our program you can see here. This is our source program. So all the program blocks that we have defined you can see here. In which location the program block will start. First default one, and two more program blocks, C.1, C blocks. All this part is related to the first section of the program, assembly program, and this is related to the second section, and this is related to the third section. Second section, two program block. Actually, default 2 is a continuation of default 1. C.2 is the continuation of C.1. Then look at here, this is the object program created by the assembler, and a loader will load this object program into memory. Then you can see that all the default comes together as a single block, and all C data comes together as another block, and C block is the third biggest one program block that is at the end of the loaded program into the memory. This is what is happening in our program block. So the last independent feature of the assembler, control section and program link. So I already defined what is a control section. A control section is a independent portion of the assembly program, and we have created object code for those control section independently, and that we can assemble independently, relocate independently, load independently, and manipulate independently. Usually this control section is used for dealing with subroutine. Okay, because we know that subroutines are an independent unit or logically subdivision of the program. A programmer can assemble, load, and manipulate each of these control sections separately. Because of this, there should be some means for linking control section together. So we know that our all control section we have formed for an assembly programs are a single program itself. One control section need to refer the other control section. So how we can refer one control section to another control section? That means the communication between the control section or among the control section, how we can deals with will comes later. See how we can define a control section by using CSECT is the assemble directives, which will help you to define the control section. So this is the section name and followed by CSECT. So section name first, control section name followed by CSECT. Separate location counter for each control section, as same as that of the program block. A separate location counter will maintain for each control section. How we deals the reference between or among the control section. The external definition and references. Instruction in one control section may need to refer to instruction or data located in another control section. So how we will do it? So this is the mechanism to deal. First we have to define the labels that we are referring by other control section. For example, suppose a extdef external definition, extdef, that is the assembly directives, followed by name, that indicate the name symbol that are defined in this control section and may be used by other control section. So this assembly directives is used for defining labels or symbols in this control section and referred by other control section. In our program, we can see that extended definition, buffer and length, etc. are symbols that is defined in one control section and referring another control section. Next one is extended refer, extref, name followed by name. So here you can see that this will indicate the name symbols that are used in this control section and are defined by some other control section. So this is for using a label within a control section, but this label is defined by some other control section. You can see that read record, write record, etc. are example for external reference. See our program. So copy start. So even though we are not using CS, ECT for defining any control section, by default the program name itself is what? The first control section, because start will indicate that. So here the first control section will start. Then look at here two statement. Here we are defining three symbols, buffer and length, means this is the symbols defined in this control section but referring some other control section. And look at here extref assembly directives, two symbols we have used here. That means this symbol we will use here but defined in some other control section. Then look at here plus jump write record, plus jump subroutine read record. And remember that we have used plus. Why we are using plus we will address soon. And this is a subroutine read record. And here you can see that RDREC is the section control section name, CSECT, and EXTREF means we are referring in this control section, referring buffer length and buffer end. So look at here we are referring, here we are referring, and here also we are referring. Look at here, this is two external symbols, and but there is no plus symbol, but their symbol is sign is opposite. This is a third control section where its name is WR write record, and here we defined two control section variable symbols referring two control section variable length and buffer. The third control section, and in this instruction referring buffer, and in this instruction we are referring the variable length. So three independent programming unit defined in our sample program. How the assembler will handle these external references by the program control section we can see here. First one is case 1. Look at here, first situation, plus read record. We are referring a variable symbol read record, but read record is defined in somewhere else. So that is why we are used plus symbol here, and its address is 0000. 4B1 is the object code of plus jump subroutine. The operand read record is an external reference. The assembler has no idea where the read record is, because control section belongs to this instruction, is an independent unit. Once it is loaded, then this instruction may not know where is this read record. The assembler is unaware of the read record. That is what it is telling. Then insert an address of 0. That is why it is inserted 00. Can only use extended format to provide enough room. Enough room in the sense That means this read record, this symbol belongs to some other control section, and that may be defined in anywhere, that may be loaded in anywhere in the memory location. So we need to point to that location. For that purpose, extended format is required. That means 20-bit extended format has a displacement of 20-bit, so 20-bit is required. Otherwise PC and base relative all have 15-bit, but 15-bit is not enough if the distance is beyond 4095. So relative addressing is not suitable. Relative addressing with the external reference is invalid. Pass this information to the loader, and loader will find what is the actual address of read record once the control section loaded corresponding to read record where it lies. Case 2, look at here. Here buffer and both are external reference operands, both are external reference, but here it is a expression involving external reference, but the sign are different. That is why there is no plus symbol. So both the symbols, these are two external reference in the expression buffer and buffer. Its address is 00. By default, assembler will insert a value of 00, pass the information to the loader. Add, what loader will do is, once this two variable is loaded, that is the control section belongs to this two variable is loaded, then the data area of the address bufferand will calculate, and the data area of the address buffer is also calculated, then will subtract each other. That is what the loader will do. Assembler will load 000. Case 3. Bufferand and buffer are defined in the same control section, and the expression can be calculated immediately. And once both the variables are external reference are within the same control section, then immediately we can calculate the address once the control section is loaded. So this is the assembled instruction. You can see all ending with the zeros. Assembler will insert all zeros. Loader will add the actual address of the external reference. So what assembler will do is, assembler will give you instruction to the loader regarding this external reference. So for giving the instruction to the loader, what assembler need to do is, assembler need to create a few more records. So for that purpose, two records is there. One is define record. Define record is contained first column as D to indicate define record, and 2 to 7 is name of the external symbol defined in this control section. So one control section, any symbols are defining as an by using external DEF, EXTDEF, then we need to create a define record. So 2 to 7 is for what name of that external symbol. Then relative address within that control section. So because that control section is starting with a new location counter, then what is the relative address from the beginning to that external symbol? So that is, we can store by using 8 to 30. So this will repeat as many for each external symbols in that control section. Then refer record. So begin with R, first column R, then 2 to 7 is name of the external symbol referred in this control section. So which symbol it is referring, that symbol name will put 2 to 7. Then this will continue all the symbols referred by this control section, 8 to 73. That many locations are there. These are two record, extra record apart from text record and end record and header record, etc. in modification record. And what these are symbols, so we need to insert few more things in the modification record. So look at the little modification in the modification record that we have studied. Column 1 is EM, and 2 to 7 is starting address of the field to be modified. We know that the same thing we have learned previously. In 8 to 9 is length of the field to be modified in half byte, same thing, there is no change. But 11 to 16 you can see that external symbol whose value is to be added to or subtracted from the indicated field. So this is to be added, external symbol whose value is to be added or subtracted from the indicated field. In control section name is automatically an external symbol, that is, it is available for use in modification record. Yeah, look at here, our first control section is, we know that it is copy. So corresponding to copy, these are the program object code. So header record, D record, R record. In the first copies control section, we are referring buffer, bufferand, and length. Then this is the relative address. This is the relative address of bufferand. This is the relative address of length with respect to that control section. Then this control section referring the variable read record and write record. Then our usual T record, T record, T record. Then modification record as same, except the last one is, it is a plus symbol because we need to add 3 times is referring this variable. That's why 3 modification record. Then look at, this is the control object code for the control section RD record. So header record, refer record, T record, and modification record. First one is adding, second one is also adding, third one is also adding, but fourth one is a subtraction, so minus symbol. So from here, this modification record, the loader will understand that buffer and minus buffer. Then write record, this is the object code. Then expression in multiple control section. So extended restriction, both the terms in the expression, that means each pair contain 2 terms, that both the terms in each pair of an expression must be within the same control section. So for example, buffer and minus buffer, both are in the same control section, so it's a legal expression. But read record minus copy is not a valid expression. Why? Because read record is in one control section, copy is in another control section. So these 2 terms in 2 different control sections, so that is not a legal expression. And how to enforce this restriction? When an expression involves external reference, the assembler cannot determine whether or not the expression is legal, because the assembler do not know where that label will appear. The assembler evaluate all the terms it can, combine these to the form an initial expression value, and generate a modification record. The loader check the expression for error and finish the evaluation. So loader will verify whether the expression is legally correct or not. This is the end of the control section in program linking. So control section is different from program block. Control section is an independent unit. A set of instruction is an independent unit that may contain instruction, data, and stack all things, and that is independently loaded into the memory, and that is independently interpret and manipulate, and everything we can do, just like a subroutine how we are treating. Suppose there are more control sections, we have to communicate, control section want to communicate to each other, that is called external reference, or that is and we understood how we link among the control sections. So thank you for watching this video. So we will see you again with a new video.